Welcome back. Today is March 6, 2026. There's a lot of news to process today. Take a breath. We're going to look at the signals together and find the what you need to know. Think about this for a second. We are no longer talking about a conflict that might end with a handshake or a treaty. President Trump has now defined the mission in Iran as unconditional surrender. He is saying there is no deal to be made until their military cannot fight any longer. This isn't just rhetoric. We are seeing intensified strikes on leadership bunkers in Tehran, and the 82nd Airborne Division just cancelled a major exercise. Usually, when the rapid response teams stop training, it's because they are packing their bags for the real thing. It looks like the air and sea campaign is shifting toward a ground invasion called Operation Epic Fury. The human ripple here is heavy. It means the window for diplomacy has slammed shut. For every family with a loved one in uniform, the uncertainty has just turned into a definitive, long-term commitment to a high-intensity war. It means we are looking at a map with no exit signs. And we aren't just facing one adversary. U.S. intelligence is now confirming that Russia is providing real-time data to help Iran target our military positions. This turns a regional fight into a direct proxy war between the world's two largest nuclear powers. Here is why this matters at your dinner table tonight. When global powers start playing chess with live ammunition, the world becomes a much smaller, more dangerous place. It's not just about a faraway desert. It's about the fact that a miscalculation on a digital screen in Moscow could lead to a tragedy for a family in an American base town. The safety we often take for granted feels a little more fragile today. That fragility is being felt in our moral standing too. Internal investigators now believe that a recent strike on a primary school in Iran, where young girls were killed, was likely carried out by our own forces. Our allies in Europe, especially Italy, are already pulling back and condemning these strikes as a breach of international law. The ripple here is a deep sense of isolation. When we lose the moral high ground, we lose the support of our friends, and that makes the world a much lonelier place for Americans traveling or working abroad. It provides a spark for others to justify retaliatory attacks, and that's a weight we all have to carry. To make matters more complex, the administration is now looking to mobilize ethnic minorities within Iran, like the Kurds, to help dismantle the government from the inside. While this might seem like a strategic move, it's a strategy that often leads to permanent, chaotic civil wars. Think about the people living there, the families who just want to survive the day. By pushing for a breakdown of the country's borders, we are looking at the potential for a massive refugee crisis that could destabilize the entire region for a generation. Now, let's talk about how this is hitting home, because when the missiles fly there, the prices climb here. Oil has surged past $90 a barrel. Qatar has issued a warning that all energy production in the Persian Gulf could stop within days. That is not just a headline. That is the price of the commute you have to make tomorrow. It is the cost of the groceries that were trucked to your local store. The ripple is a direct hit to your wallet, and it comes at a time when we are uniquely vulnerable. Our strategic petroleum reserve, the rainy day fund for our energy needs, is at a historic low. We have lost our primary shield against energy blackmail. Every strike in the Gulf is now a direct strike on your monthly budget, and there is no government safety net left to soften the blow. This economic pressure is already showing up in the data. We unexpectedly lost 92,000 jobs in February. The unemployment rate is ticking up to 4.4%, and the markets are feeling the floor fall out. We are entering a major war while our labor market is weakening. It's a specialized kind of anxiety, a wartime recession where the things you need cost more, but the income you rely on feels less certain. It's a lot for any household to manage, especially when you feel like you're being asked to pay for the risks of others. Think about this: the government is now creating a $20 billion fund to insure commercial tankers in the Gulf because private companies won't touch them. That means your tax dollars are now directly subsidizing the risk of global oil transport. We have essentially nationalized the shipping industry's wartime liabilities. You are now a stakeholder in every tanker that tries to run the gauntlet of the Persian Gulf, whether you want to be or not. Even the technology we use is being drafted into this conflict. The Department of War just blacklisted the AI company Anthropic, calling them a supply chain risk, while doubling down on OpenAI for military projects. This is the formal integration of the tech sector into the military-industrial complex. The tools we use for work and creativity are being sorted into categories of national security. It's a shift that changes the soul of innovation. It means the government, not the market, is deciding which tech firms are allowed to survive based on how useful they are for the war effort. While the military grows, the rest of the government is being dismantled. The White House says removing over 250,000 federal workers is priority number one. We are seeing a brain drain at places like the NIH. When you lose that institutional memory, you lose the experts who know how to handle a public health crisis or a regulatory failure. The ripple is a government that is becoming a shell of its former self, trading expertise for direct executive control. It leaves us wondering who will be left to solve the problems that don't involve a battlefield. In a surprising pivot, the administration has reached a deal with Venezuela to secure gold and minerals. It seems we are trying to build a resource-secure bloc in our own hemisphere to insulate ourselves from the chaos in the East. It's a cold, hard reminder that in a world of conflict, yesterday's enemies can become today's business partners if they have the resources we need. But even as we look abroad, our domestic house is in a state of friction. 24 states are suing the federal government over global tariffs, and the administration says it won't comply with court orders to refund the money. This is a breakdown in the relationship between our states and the federal government. At the same time, the Department of Homeland Security is facing a funding shutdown because of legislative gridlock. We are seeing a purge of leadership, with Kristi Noem being fired and Markwayne Mullin stepping in to lead a transformation of the agency. And in the middle of this, the DOJ has released files from the Epstein case that contain uncorroborated allegations against the president. It feels like the people at the helm are navigating a storm while their own ship is on fire. The ripple is a sense of deep instability at the exact moment we need a steady hand on the wheel. The news was heavy, but you are not carrying it alone. Stay connected. Stay present. We are right here with you. See you in the next brief.